power you have when wearing it is unlike anything you've ever experienced.
It made me feel like I was less than human or something.
We give people the ability to walk again, to use their arms again, to use their minds again.
But the negatives far outweigh the positives in terms of just how many crimes are committed because of the exoskeletons.
They gave my brother the ability to walk.
Exoskeletons are good for the patients who have been paralyzed after they had strokes or had spinal cord disease.
Should we be giving humans the ability to do things that humans shouldn't be able to do? When I get one, I'm gonna be just like my favorite superheroes. I'll be faster, stronger. Man, imagine sports, man, like football. That would be crazy.
Nobody needs to be that strong.
You will be faster, better, stronger.
Let me tell you a story. My story.
We can't really address exoskeletons without talking about Jonathan Carrick. Carrick had your typical Hallmark family, steady job, happy at home. He went out shopping for an anniversary present for his wife one day and was in a jewelry store on a small sort of downtown street. So he's shopping for the anniversary gift, right? And he didn't know, hardly anyone knew, no one knew in the store, really. I mean, let's just be real. That the convenience store, the gas station across the street, had been robbed. Well, the robbers there didn't know about the police officer outside, and, well, there's exchanged gunfire. That's a terrible situation to be in across the street. You don't know what's going on. Things are just, it's chaos. It's chaos. A stray bullet busted through the window of the store that Carrick was in, a small little jewelry store. And he caught a bullet to the back, right in the spine. So he was taken to the hospital and just, well, he wasn't going to be able to walk again. He had upper body strength, but no ability to walk again. Now, this is probably about 10 years ago. Exoskeletons were commercially available, but not affordable for the average person just yet. And
when the skeletons first came about back in 20 years ago, no. They were overpriced and they malfunctioned a lot. I mean, a lot of people got hurt. But, since then, the advances they've made in technology has made exoskeletons more affordable and just a better overall product.
Well, he sort of spiraled out of control. His relationship went to the toilet. He taking up alcohol and drugs, and it seemed hopeless. And after his life crumbled, he managed to somehow get money. We don't know if he was a bed, what he sold, his house. In the end, he was able to get an exoskeleton. He was able to walk again.
While, of course, there are some benefits to exoskeletons, and one doesn't want to deny any, disabled people the ability to walk again, or whatever else, or other positive qualities that exoskeletons might have. I think you have to weigh the negatives and understand that the negatives far outweigh the positives in terms of just how many crimes are committed because of the exoskeletons.
And by this time, all this shit had happened to him, and he was damaged. He'd felt the world had wronged him, I guess. I don't know, some bullshit like that. But then he took to crime, right? Well, as broken men are wont to do, he got involved with some, I guess, bad crowds, I guess, if you want to be PC in elementary school about it. Well, push came to shove, and he ended up becoming the Carrick that we know today. He's a crime boss now, right? I mean, well, he was a crime boss, I guess. He was one of the most powerful people in the city, or one of the most feared people in the city. It's not like he ran a huge organization. He was just a madman who was unstoppable.
So, don't get me wrong, I think technology is fantastic. I'm really interested in science fiction. I've always been interested in that, in film and in books. Early H.G. Wells in the late 1800s was talking about like a cylindrical thing with information on it that you could put into a viso screen. And, years and years, decades later, we have a computer that's much like that. But is everything that was in science fiction that we think could make man greater, or that could make us stronger or better, is it always good?
But granted, some people are going to misuse this equipment and use it for their own personal gain, as with the crime rate. But it's not about what you do with the product. Back in the early 2000s, we had like the big gun debate. Guns, no guns. But it's not about what the product is; it's how you use it. So you can't fault the exoskeletons for the people who use them.
Not that the exoskeletons are some sort of outlier and that the crime was always going to be committed, but rather the fact that the exoskeletons are in fact the reason that the crimes are able to be committed. People who have access to exoskeletons are able to commit crimes that they would never have been able to do beforehand.
When the exoskeletons were first starting to come out, it looked very promising. It was neat to people who couldn't walk or had severe injuries, or even military aspects of people who've gone to war with us. They get injured and they could come back, and with an exoskeleton they could be productive members in society. They could feel like that they could do things, and I thought that was fantastic. But where do you draw the line? When you can take someone who's a quadriplegic perhaps, and you could and they could move and pick things up and be productive and have a job, that's great. But when they can pick up a giant steel girder and toss it, is that okay? Should we be giving humans the ability to do things that humans shouldn't be able to do? You give them the strength to break through walls or to toss a car. I'm not so sure that that's something that I'm comfortable with.
We can analyze the evolution of his personality and maybe, talk about his spiral into madness, but this is the point. This situation, the exoskeleton gave him power, I guess. Power to do the things that his crippled mind had convinced him to do, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. But I guess the problem is still, where do you draw the line?